Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. The war on Moises Caicedo has begun. Chelsea and Arsenal are going to be battling out throughout this June and July, probably, just to see who signs Moises Caicedo. Now, according to a very credible website, way back in Ecuador, the player has chosen Arsenal, but that is not the end of the story. Chelsea are willing to pay more than Arsenal, and they are willing to pay wages way higher than Arsenal. And of course, Arsenal won't be engaging in a bidding war because Moises Caicedo is not our priority this summer. Our priority is Declan Rice. But we're going to be diving into that story. According to Fabrizio Romano, today is the final day for talks. William Saliba has already agreed a deal with Arsenal, and everything should be finalized today. Every single detail should be ironed out, and we should be getting a very, very close, very close to the agreement, and we should be getting an announcement very, very soon. Joao Cancelo is the priority for Arsenal. Ivan Frasneda and Sacha Boy are all backups, are all options that Arsenal are looking at if they don't get Moises Caicedo. But the feeling in the Arsenal camp and those close to Arsenal feel Joao Cancelo will be joining Arsenal, and maybe the likes of Frasneda, maybe the likes of such a boy, just mere talk. We'll be talking about Xavi Simons in this video, Nico Williams as well. So hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's dive into the madness, and let's get this video to 500 likes. Now let's get over with the William Saliba agreement, because Fabrizio Romano has just said that Arsenal and the representatives of William Saliba are now in direct contact. Today is the final meeting. Talks have been very good and progressive. They've advanced very quickly in the last few hours, and William Saliba is expected to be announced as a long-term Arsenal player very, very soon. Now, of course, the problem was always with the salaries. We talked about what he should be earning. Arsenal thinking about 100,000 per week. The player's agents and the player himself thinking about almost 200,000 per week. So the disparity was big. The difference between what we wanted to offer and what the camp thought the player should be offered was actually very, very big. But the thing for me here is, and was always going to be the plan for William Saliba in Arsenal, the plan for William Saliba in Mikel Arteta's plans. And I think we have eventually come to an agreement that is going to be the main centre-back at Arsenal for the next something like 10 years. Listen, I won't be surprised if maybe 5 years later, Saliba moves to maybe Madrid, maybe Bayern, maybe PSG. I won't be really surprised, because you look at what is happening at Chelsea, at City right now. Bernardo Silva wants a change in environment. Gundogan wants a change in environment. Cancelo wants a change in environment. So it happens, right? The fact that you have very good players doesn't mean that you're going to have the same team for the next 10, 20 years. No. Those players, the likes of Odegaard, the likes of Saliba, in the next 6 years, 7 years, when probably they've won the UEFA Champions League and Premier League for Arsenal, they will want to change environment. They will want to go somewhere else and, feel the competition, maybe just earn big money away from Arsenal and things like that. But at the moment, this is massive. This is absolutely crucial, because if Arsenal had failed to secure Saliba, it would have meant that we are not even, ready, and we are not sure of, keeping our best players. And that is very detrimental at a point like this, where you want to add the best talents that will help you in Europe. Just imagine if Declan Rice looks at Arsenal right now and they lose Saliba or Saka. I mean, in his mind, he would be like, this club is not even serious. They look like they're building something, but they can't even keep hold of their best talents. So for me, that is a statement as well. If he's going to earn 200, if he's going to earn 190, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later in the future. But if he becomes a formidable centre-back, if he becomes one of the best in the league, which he is at the moment, then we won't have much to worry, about. So William Saliba is done. Agreement done. Today, a final meeting between the representatives and Arsenal will be held just to iron out the final details. I presume it's one of those where the player might earn up to 140,000 in guaranteed payments, and then a few bonuses, or very, very many bonuses, could take the deal up to 200,000. It's the same thing with Bukayo Saka's deal. He has 195,000 guaranteed or fixed per week, but the deal then rises up to 300, given some bonuses. Probably when he scores a hat-trick, when he scores a brace, when Arsenal win. There's so many clauses in those contracts, right? So Saka is not going to earn 300 pounds per week straight. He's earning 190,000 fixed or guaranteed, but then the rest of the 110,000 comes in what you would call bonuses, right? Clauses that should be activated at any point in time. So Saliba, congs to Arsenal, congs to Saliba. The partnership stays, okay? The partnership stays. And of course, Gabriel Magalhaes will be very happy that his centre-back partner will be staying. Now, let's talk about Moises Caicedo. The war on Moises Caicedo has officially begun. And I'm telling you this, guys, it is not ending very, very soon. But at the moment, it is in our favor, slightly in our favor. So according to a very reputable website way back in Ecuador, this is what they have actually said. Ecuadorian website Terra Deportes, right, is saying that Moises Caicedo's decision on his next move is very close and will be accompanied by a photograph of the player in an Arsenal jersey. So this is what it looks like, and this is what has been reported. Just to be clear, in the background is Moises Caicedo in a Chelsea jersey in kind of faint, and in the foreground is Moises Caicedo in an Arsenal jersey, clear and bold. Okay, so the graphic representation, and if you want to denotate the information in that graphic, literally there are two clubs fighting for Moises Caicedo. Chelsea farther away in the background, and according to the player's choice, Arsenal in the foreground. Now, we understand that Moises Caicedo already had set his heart to join Chelsea in January, but whatever happened after Arsenal beating changed his mind. So, at least for what we know, right now he wants to join Arsenal. Right now he has chosen Arsenal because they have a great project, and he also is thinking about playing in the UEFA Champions League. Okay, so I think it's only understandable that Brighton are in the Europa League, Arsenal are in the UEFA Champions League. Of course, he will go to Chelsea even if they don't have UEFA Champions League and Europa League. There's no question about that. If Chelsea show the most ambition, and Mauricio Pochettino convinces him that in the next season they will be playing in the Champions League, which they can do as Chelsea. They have the quality and they have the manager now. He will go there. But at the moment, as things stand, he does not have a reason to turn down Arsenal for Chelsea. We can give him the wages that, deserve him, or he deserves. We can give him UEFA Champions League football that Chelsea can't at the moment. We can give him a project that is like one of the best in Europe right now. I look at so many other projects in Europe. Maybe the Napoli project that has just won the Italian Serie A is quite amazing. The Barca project is also amazing as well. But the Arsenal project, trust me, if we had won the EPL, we would be the most valuable project, right, among all the projects that are being developed around European football. So Caicedo is leaning towards Arsenal. Okay, and this actually opens up a bitter war, an absolute bitter war. Now, the good thing is that Fabrizio has said that in terms of personal terms, both clubs are on the same level. Arsenal did agree personal terms with the player in January, but that does not count, right? So at the moment, no one has an agreement on personal terms. According to Fabrizio Romano, no one has an agreement on personal terms. Nothing is done. Nothing is completed yet. But Chelsea are willing to offer more money than Arsenal. Chelsea are willing to bid as much as 89 million for Moises Caicedo. Arsenal definitely, for me, it will be around 70, 75. So it might end up in Chelsea's favor. And most of the reports here are reporting, including Dean Jones, who was speaking to the Football Terrace the last time, and was saying that Chelsea look like the more likely destination. And this is why, this is because most of the people here think if Arsenal spend 100 million on Declan Rice, then they won't spend something like 70 or 80 million on Moises Caicedo. They will be going for cheaper alternatives like Cancelo at 35, like maybe Gabriel Viega at 35 and things like that. But let's wait and see. Chelsea, with the money advantage, because they're not going to spend a lot of money elsewhere, so they can spend the whole budget of the summer on a striker and Moises Caicedo, right? Arsenal, with a lucrative appearance and the attractiveness, Champions League, the project, and of course the ambition that we tried to sign him in January, and we nearly got him, okay? So he will look at Arsenal as an easier step because literally he had gotten all the information about the club, okay? So he's our priority. He's Chelsea's priority. Let's wait and see where he goes. Now, his decision doesn't, for me, mean anything. Absolutely, it doesn't mean anything. He can't choose Arsenal, but then he gets a better deal from Chelsea. It's what Mikhail Modric did. Got a better deal from Chelsea, but he had chosen Arsenal. He had decided that his future should be set at the Emirates Stadium. But, right? Chelsea came in with a much better deal. Right, so let's talk about the right-back situation because Tom Canton has been reporting about this one with Football.London, and he says Joao Cancelo is the only priority at right-back for Arsenal. Ivan Frasneda, such a boy. I've seen a story about, is it Timothy Castagna at West Ham? All these players are just in the background. Of course, Arsenal do have a list of potential targets, but Joao Cancelo is on top of the list. He is the priority. Arsenal have held talks with Joao Cancelo, and Arsenal have also held early talks with Manchester City, according to Sky Sports' Damesh Sheth. Okay, now what I understand with the with the Joao Cancelo situation is City will be looking for around 50 million. And we'll talk about this later maybe. But the 50 million, in my opinion, is too much. And City know there are not so many clubs that are going to give them 50 million for Joao Cancelo. So this could be the bargain of the summer. This is where we capitalize on failed and broken relationships. A much more severed relationship between Pep and Joao Cancelo. So we could see Cancelo moving to the Emirates Stadium in around 45 million euros. And I tell you what, if the price is down from 70 down here to 40 million euros, we should get that deal done. Because Cancelo and his quality, he will play football until around 34, right? If he's 29, 30, 31, we could give him a 3-year deal, right? Actually, a 4-year deal until 32, right? That's it. That's my opinion. A 4-year deal until 32 with an option to extend until 33 years of age. When he turns 33, you can let him go to Juve. Obviously, Juve will always be there to knock on the door. So Joao Cancelo is a priority. Ivan Frasneda is a priority for Borussia Dortmund, and I believe they will get their man. It's around 25 million euros. And you know Dortmund, when you talk about 20 million euros or less, and then you talk about 18-year-old or less, that is that kind of catch, okay? So he might be going there. Like, he might be just heading there. So finally, let's talk about Nico Williams, because I had to talk about him in the first video, and we didn't have the space now. Gianluca Lungari did report that Arsenal have set their eyes and set their interest on Nico Williams. He's a player that we should be watching. It's a situation that we should be watching because Mikel Arteta really appreciates him. Now, Nico Williams is the real representation of what Arsenal want to do this summer in terms of a forward. Has played 33 games for Atletico Bilbao on the right-hand side. He's played as a right winger this season. This has been his breakaway season, around 33 games. I think 6 goals and 6 assists in the Spanish La Liga. He's a brother to Inaki Williams, and they're playing in the same team. What I like about Nico is he has a lot of flair. It's one of the things I like about him. And I watch him a lot in the Spanish Liga. He's got a lot of flair, right? I still remember the World Cup. I wasn't very, very sure that him being called up for Spain ahead of Jeremy Pino was the right decision. But boy, oh boy, he was mesmerizing. He's a game changer. He's a real, real game changer. And I think that's one thing we need at Arsenal. I think there's so many games where Saka has run stale. Like, he's become stale. And there was that period where he just became unproductive. But we didn't have a player you could trust to come on and give you a Saka masterclass. I think Nico Williams is that kind of guy. Now, he's still very young. I think he's turning 20 very soon. He hasn't scored so many goals as well, or made many assists. I know many Arsenal fans are going to look him up and go, but he doesn't have a season like Saka's. Yes, he doesn't have a season like Saka's, but trust me, in the next 2-3 years, if he continues on the same trajectory of development, he's going to be a big problem for countries playing against Spain and for clubs playing against him. So Nico Williams, one to watch according to Gianluca Lungari. Arsenal do appreciate him very, very much. I'll see you right in the next one.